Giser. Hi, Art.
Hey, Nick.
How you doing?
Very good. Very excited to be here.
Good. Well, we're having a conversation about you and energetic NLP and inspired entrepreneurs. So if I can set the context, I represent a tribe, a group, a community of people, and what we're all doing is looking to take what we love, what we feel like we're on this planet to do, and to put that out into the world to make a difference. So that's what most of us are really doing, unifying our work and our love. And I wanted to have a conversation with you because I know that's A, that's what you're doing,
right,
and B, you have a lot to contribute to helping people do that more effectively. So I thought we'd have a conversation. I'd ask you about your kind of background, what you do, how you do it, maybe even do a practical exercise for people.
I would love to, and I'm very pleased to be and honored to be part of this, and excited about what your group's up to.
Great. So, you're a messenger. You're on this planet to help people live their happiest and best lives. That's what you're about. That's your kind of overriding purpose, isn't it? So how did you come to energetic NLP as the tool that you share with people to help them live happy, more fulfilled lives? What's your journey?
Well, I was really, really stuck in my own life. I had always been really adventuresome. I mean, when I was 20, I bought a one-way ticket to London, had a pack, and
you've never left, and you're still here.
I didn't even buy a ticket home, and it was deliberately. I just wanted to have an adventure. So that was the kind of person I was. So a few years later, I'm managing a research lab for the University of California Medical School in San Francisco, and it's a good job, and proud of what I'm doing, and I totally didn't belong there. And my friends and my family, they wouldn't say anything, but people would occasionally kind of give me a look like, why are you still there? But when I got my 11-year pin, or my 10-year pin, I told the people in the office, if you try to give that to me publicly, I'll kill you. Just put it in the campus mail. Because I was embarrassed, like, what was I still doing there? The job was fine, and what we were doing things that help women. We're looking at effects of estrogen and progesterone. Yeah, I just didn't belong there. And
great job, but not for you.
Great job, but not for me. And it was fulfilling some of my values. And it was and I think it's important for everybody to realize when we're stuck somewhere, when you look back on it, you'll go, well, it was fulfilling some values. I mean, it's not crazy where we are, but it was like so not using my skills and where I belonged in the world. And I'd always believed that it was just going to kind of appear to me what my path was. Meanwhile, I'm getting older and not appearing. I'm finally 33, and I'm starting to feel really bad about myself, and like, am I a loser, and what's wrong with me, why am I so stuck, and there was a man named Bruce Honig who it's not as unusual now, but he was teaching a course on creativity, and I'd never heard of anybody doing anything like that. This is back in the 80s, and it's still a new thing to do. So I went to the course, and it just started opening my thinking, and I started thinking, I didn't know you could make money doing something that fun, and that, I'm thinking like, you can make money teaching creativity. It's like...
I talk about that idea that you do something you don't love to earn money, and if you do something you love, you can't earn money. So it's like you had that aha moment, which is, I can do something I love and earn money out of it.
I really like that in your book, that whole idea, like nobody ever told me, like, I always thought I had to find a job, and remember my first girlfriend in college later told me, she goes, Art, you're trying to find a box to put yourself in. She goes, you're kind of an unusual person. You're going to have to make the box.
A funny shaped box.
You're not going to find it. And I knew she was right, but I still was stuck. And so Bruce told me about this lecture on intuition, and I went to it, and there was a bulletin board with flyers for different workshops up. And I saw one, and it said neuro-linguistic programming. And when I read the words, it was literally like a bolt of lightning went right down my midline. Wow. And I remember thinking, what the hell was that? Only put in some stronger words than hell. And then I had this interesting, I don't know if you've ever had like a little internal kind of argument. And the kind of scientist in me was going, what was that? And the other part of me was going, you know what that was. That was some kind of sign. And I didn't necessarily believe in signs at the time. And but it was so clearly a sign. I went and I bought a book on NLP, and it said, don't start with this book. So I was a good boy, and I went and got a book called Frogs into Princes, and was immediately enthralled. I thought they were making rather extravagant claims, but things made sense to me. It really made sense, and then I took a course with a man named Michael LeBeau, who's an amazing NLP developer, and 5 minutes into the course when I'm in the right place. Well, synchronistically, I'd always been interested in things like ESP and dreams and hypnosis, and I believed that whole element existed, but I really wasn't into the woo-woo kind of side of it. And one of the people who was in the class, my NLP class, said, "Oh, Art, there's this amazing guy going to come over our house. He's this channeler, and why don't you come see him?" And I didn't particularly believe in channeling or anything, but I thought, well, it ought to be entertaining. And I came in late, so he didn't have a chance to talk with me, and he had his eyes closed, and everybody was in a circle, and we were all asking him questions. And if you asked him a question about what to do with your life, he'd go, "Well, you have free will, it's not for me to tell you what to do." So, and I noticed when he'd answer people's questions, most of the answers did not, to me, seem particularly significant, but I could see that the people were really moved, and something was happening for them. So I went, something's going on here. And when it came to me not being a quick study, I went, well, I'm not sure what to do with my NLP. And so he gives me that, well, it's not for me to tell you what to do, you have free will. And then he goes, but there's something else. And he goes, how do I put this? And then he proceeds to tell me my biggest fear that I still have never mentioned to anybody. And
you're going to mention it now?
Nah. And for the next, I have to come to the talk for that. Maybe I'll do it at the evening that I do with you. So he tells me what the fear is, and I'm sure it didn't sound like that big a deal to anybody else, or that unusual, but my eyes are probably that wide as saucers. And then he goes, you don't need to worry about that, and goes on to the next person. And I felt this tremendous relief. So the next weekend I was in this workshop, and was amazed that by the end of the 2 days we could all do amazing things, and had amazing information. And so that was my start of my journey to opening up intuition and energetic healing.
So it sounds like you open up consciousness, or your consciousness opened up to new dimensions, and that's kind of what you're doing for other people now, isn't it?
Exactly. And part of what I discovered is, asked a later teacher of mine, a man named John Norman, I went, I thought you had to go meditate in a cave for 20 years to do any of these things. He went, well, maybe you used to, but we're in a different time. In that everybody has incredible gifts to read energy, transform energy. And what I love is just for people that are interested, teaching them like they can do things that they used to think were impossible. In fact, my 4-day trainings, I'll tell people that at the beginning, in 4 days I want you to be less impressed with me and more impressed with yourself.
That's my definition of a good teacher. A good teacher, well, a good teacher tells you how great they are, and a brilliant teacher lets you know how good you are.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. So
and they're going to figure it out by the end of 4 days anyway. So
who needs
get
you
ahead
to
of
teach
the
you
game.
anyway? Great. So you've developed an energetic NLP from what helped you to start with, by the sound of it, open up your mind and your consciousness.
What helped me, and at the same time I was being helped in the classes, we would work on each other, and a lot of times classes would be a month, a few days a month, and people were always coming back and telling me how their lives were changed. And some of them were very prominent therapists, and they'd be coming and going, "Oh, Art, that thing you did, my life has really changed." And I'd be going, "Really?"
And it was something quite simple.
Yes, often very simple, either energetic or an NLP process. And when it finally dawned on me, it's like, why am I keeping these separate? And I started combining them and putting them together.
Right. So you've brought these things together, you've made them your own. This is kind of your work to the world.
Exactly.
Energetic NLP is your gift to the world. And if you could summarise it in a sentence or two, how do you summarise energetic NLP? Because a lot of people could laugh and go, does it mean running around the room saying NLP?
Yes,
what does that
people
actually
go,
mean?
we exercise. It's a unique blend of NLP, the neuro-linguistic programming, with intuition development and transformative energy work. So people in the programs learn both NLP approaches and NLP has amazing approaches to acquiring skills and removing programming and blocks. And what people learn is to combine that with intuitive and energetic techniques. And they learn they can do a lot of it after a while just energetically.